Paddy works on the railway. In 1842 from Hartlepool I moved to Crewe, found myself a job to do, working on the railway.
Hiya, different video today, not in a workshop, well in the kitchen at the moment, but just going in the garden and I'm going to build a computer. It is connected because it's the computer for my YouTube setup in the workshop. One of the things you quickly notice with building a computer system is the inordinate amount of packaging that you get with it. This they compensate for on an environmental basis by printing the information on how to build it in tiny little manuals with miniature text, so you can't no chance of reading it. I like all the flat work on my motherboard out of the case, it's just easier. And we'll start by putting in the cooling fan system, which has got a bracket which goes underneath. Stop posing for the camera and get on with the job. Right, so the bracket goes underneath. That is fixed to the motherboard. They're all slightly different. I had gone for a liquid cool on this one, the first time I've ever used it. And the reason was, there was one in the Amazon marketplace, or Amazon warehouse returned. It was only a couple of pounds more than an air-cooled system. And I thought, why not? So just for fun. It's all a bit of a faff to get it together, but it's easy enough once you get started. I try to do most of my work toolless, apart from a small screwdriver. Even that, it's finger tight, not crunchy tight. So, those posts are installed, the back plate's on. Time to put the CPU in place. I'm going for an Intel i7, which is plenty enough for my needs. It's always important to make sure you get your CPU in the right way round. On this generation there's two slots here which are off centre, so it will only fit into the casing one way round. It's got to go to pin 1. Very gently slot it into place. We've got about a bit, make sure it's sat there in those slots nice and tightly. And if you're half blind like me, get a torch and just double check everything's lined up. I've already put thermal paste on the back of this one because I have really. And you pop it in, that pops off this protective cover. And you pull this lever down, which holds it tightly in place. The next step for me is to put the onboard system disk in, which these days of course is an NV RAM solid state. This is a 1TB one, which is plenty enough for my videos. And there's a screwless system on here. That's it. Just had a bit of packing to remove first. Well, this has got a thermal connector on here, which is protected by a piece of plastic. So don't forget to take that off. It'll stick to your fingers. It's not sticky, it's just static. And then this just clips on. Job done. And now for the cooling system. This is going to come off a couple of times. I want to check this motherboard before I install it. So I need to put the cooling on, but I will need to take it off to get it into the case. So this is it. The radiator, 2 fans and a cooling header. That literally just sits on top there. And you've got some brackets. Which slot into place. Line it all up. And screw them down. It is a bit of a faff and a fiddle, but it can be done. There is stuff in the instructions that tell you to tighten the screws in a particular order. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4. So once the slack is taken up, you're pretty much there. Check it with a torch. Make sure everything's lined up the way you want it to be. And that's the job done. This next step, install the RAM. Now this is DDR5, which has got a different position for the slot. So that slot there tells you how it goes in. And because I'm only putting 2 sticks in, my target is slot 2 and slot 4. You can feel it sort of click into place. There's 2 little clips on the end that come up and hold it in there. And before I go to the trouble of putting it into the case, I like to just wire it up here. The case is connected because I want the power switch, and just boot it up. Make sure everything's working. You may think that's a bit overkill, however, the power supply that I bought from Amazon is dead. So I've had to go out and pick up another power supply to get the job done. So now that's done, we can start putting it into the case. Right, I'm not going to show the video of that because there's nothing to see. Case is in the way. But you have 9 screws that size that need to go in, and as I said before, not tight. Just do them up. Don't tighten them. Well, that's it. The computer's built. I saved the best bit for last. Don't really need a glass case in the workshop. As you can see, I've turned all the lights off. But good as a warehouse return. It was cheap, and also I get to see when the dust is built up in there. I have to go in with a shovel, just have to clean it out. But the best bit. Peeling off the plastic. There'll be a little bit more video as I put some software on. Hiya. Now that I have the Windows installed and the hardware built, it's time to put some software on here. Now I want to reinstall from scratch because I find systems they get jammed up. You download stuff, you add stuff to stuff, and then before you know it, you've got lots and lots of rubbish on your system that you don't really want. So I'm going to go for a complete virgin install. Now this is not in the workshop yet. This is one I use to filter background noise from my microphone. Not for live, but for videos. I use an overhead mic. Can't configure it properly because I don't have the mic attached to it yet because I'm still got the old one in the workshop. But we'll get there. And that is it, really. Each of those obviously has to be configured. I'm not going to run through that on the video, but that's the basic software I use. I also have WhatsApp and email and Facebook installed because that keeps me in touch in the workshop.